Hi, this is Karl with another Relax, Focus, Succeed video. Today I want to talk about laziness, labor saving, and AI. I know you're inundated with artificial intelligence claims. I'm not going to tell you to push a button and make all of your work go away. In fact, that's exactly the topic I want to talk about. You know, there's a lot of good that comes from being a little bit lazy. You know, sometimes we have that word lazy kind of hang out there, and it's always, I don't know, it's got a negative connotation to it. But on the other hand, when we talk about labor saving, that used to be a huge thing around, 100 years ago where, wow, now instead of spending hours and hours and hours beating a rug with a stick or a broom, you've got this device that it'll have rotating brushes and it'll suck up the dirt, and now you can do this, and it's a labor-saving device. And the promise was, if you may recall, well, you wouldn't recall from 100 years ago, but you may have heard that the promise of all technology is, and this will save so much time that you'll be able to do other things. And it kind of ignores the fact that human beings never run out of things to do. The amount of work to be done always expands to fill the space available. But what does happen is we're able to do more and more and more in less time. So labor-saving devices, I love a computer. I enjoyed having a typewriter back in the day. I have absolutely no interest in going back to the days of the typewriter. I have no interest in going back to the days of the horse and buggy. I like my car. I'm a big fan of indoor plumbing. There's a lot of stuff that saves us labor, makes our life better, allows us to get a lot more done in a lot less time. The good side of laziness, the healthy side of laziness, that allows us to say we value labor saving. So those things that automate our lives and make things better and allow us to be more productive in less time, they're all good. Now, enter the next generation of this, artificial intelligence. It's not really any different than any other technology that's come on down the road. Artificial intelligence is a way for you to get more done in less time if you use it properly. And that is the key to success. Daniel Burrus tells this great story. He's a futurist. So he tells this great story about, somebody coming from the future, and they go back into the past and they find somebody who's building a log cabin with an axe and, cutting logs to piece them together. And he's like, oh my gosh, that's so much work. Let me do you a favor. So he goes back in the future, comes back with a chainsaw, and says, there you go, like that, that you can cut things really fast and so forth and so on. So then he goes back, comes back a few years later, and what he finds is this person's out in the woods, still making log cabins, but now using the chainsaw to do exactly the work he was doing before. Did not help him improve his process. And the point of the story is that you can't just give somebody tools and you can't adopt for yourself the tools without changing your thinking about what is the right thing to do with this tool. What new things does it allow me to do that I couldn't do yesterday? Don't use it to write poetry. It will give you horrible poetry. Don't use it to write your term paper. Don't use it to select 3 paragraphs and say, give me bullet points. You can read 3 paragraphs and you can get 3 bullet points, and you'll probably be clearer and better and more precise than letting AI give you this, 14-page paper, what could be 3 bullet points. So use the right tool for the right job. So when you think about adopting AI, please do not think that you're ever going to do what's been promised forever and never delivered. Push a button and make all your work disappear. That literally will not happen. Technology has never allowed us to do one thing and make all of our work disappear. We have gone from using manual digging and shovels to using motorized equipment that allows us to dig bigger holes faster. Great. but we're also digging different holes than we were before. We're doing different things. We're not recreating the old world into the modern world. We're creating a new world with new things and new requirements and new goals and new opportunities. AI should be focused on your future, on building the things that you couldn't do before, not just creating more stuff. So many of the examples that I have seen so far that people are actually using every day are things like summarizing an email or summarizing a meeting, and the summaries are frequently wrong. They're inaccurate, and people don't proofread them, and then they just put them out into the world. And it's like, you're not making anybody's life better. You're not even making your own life better. The other thing I see people doing is they have their AI note taker taking notes on every meeting. And now instead of having 6 pages a day of handwritten notes or typed up notes that's, in a program that they access all the time so they have access to it, now they have 500 pages of notes that they will never look at again. But they might say, hey AI, go read all those pages and tell me if there's anything I should be doing that I'm not. Right? Those are stupid things to do with AI. Don't do things that are just going to create more work for yourself and overwhelm you with things that you're trying to avoid in the first place. Stop, slow down. One of my themes is always slow down, get more done. Well, think about AI. Ask the question first. Is this useful? Is this productive? And what does it allow me to do that I could not do before? Because ultimately, that's the promise of technology. Not just to do more, but to do things in a way that you couldn't do it before. Do things that were not possible for you or anybody else before. Where can AI make your life better and save you some labor? I'm back to the labor saving. Be a little bit lazy, improve your life, get things done a little better, a little faster, but don't abdicate what you're trying to do and just let AI take over your life. It'll do things you would never do, and it will project a personality that is not yours. So be careful, go slow. And what's really ironic about this, the most technically advanced people are adopting it as fast as they can and making fools of themselves in many ways. And the people who are a little slower to adopt are probably going to wait until there's a real killer app where AI really shines, and then they're going to really figure out how to make their lives better. Something to think about, just my perspective. I hope you're beginning to look at AI and that you're finding things you can do that will make your life better. Please like it if you like it, subscribe to the channel, and check out my newsletter if you haven't already. You can find it all at relaxfocussucceed.com. For Relax, Focus, Succeed, this is Karl Palachuk wishing you the best of luck in everything you do.